Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Something About Sports, the sports podcast for people, well, that maybe don't like sports, but want to talk something about sports. And I have a very special guest with me. You guys have probably listened to him on his Exploder podcast, but I'm going to let him introduce himself.
My name is Dan Fraley. I host the Exploder podcast. I am the co-host of Jake Hill whenever we do the Hillbilly Therapy podcast, whenever that comes around.
And whenever he gets out of jail.
Whenever that happens, parole. And
it's a bitch.
Yeah, and Jake asked me on here to talk about a particular topic, and I thought, hell, I might as well join in.
And it's a perfect podcast to do some crossovers, because later I'm gonna actually pop on the Exploder podcast for a special visit. So I wanted to bring Dan on because, well, we wanted to kind of honor a sports legend before he makes his wonderful debut in pro wrestling. So that's why we're bringing Dan on from the Exploder podcast. We're talking about Pat McAfee, who was getting ready to probably get his head super kicked off by Adam Cole, but
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, either that or he'll be Pat McAfee Bebe or some weird shit.
That's
God, I hope he doesn't, because I love the Adam Cole Bebe.
Yeah, really good.
Not that he listens to this podcast, but a shout out to Adam Cole Bebe.
Just in case.
Just in case. That would actually make my entire life.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about Pat McAfee Bebe, we are going to talk about some of the worst plays by punters. Why? Because Pat McAfee Bebe was a punter for the Indianapolis Colts.
This is how little I know about sports. I did not know that.
Yes, he's actually like one of the best punters.
Yeah, I know he played football. Like, I know that's the reference. I know that's where he came from. But I literally had no idea. You could have told me he was a defensive tackle. I'd have believed you. I don't know. Nice. I did not know that.
So, well, we're going to, ironically, the first play that we're going to talk about is known as the worst play in NFL history. And it got that name from Pat McAfee, who was on the field when it happened.
He's already infamous, so it's just a matter of time. He's already infamous.
This became infamous for all the wrong reasons. So this is a play against it's the Indianapolis Colts against the Patriots, who decided to have a trick play.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back here a little bit. To which they tried to. You gotta look. You gotta watch this, Dan.
Okay.
Okay. Look at this. They're now leaving the backup long snapper and a gunner. And watch how horrible this goes. By the way, this one player standing all the way in the back, that's Pat McAfee, baby.
Okay, all right.
Yes. So the entire plan there was to try to get the Patriots to think that they were running off the field and that the offense was going to come back in to hopefully catch them trying to sub in and then snap the ball and get the 5-yard penalty. But when the Patriots did not move or buy into any of it, they had no idea what to do. And then the guy that is doing the snapping is not the long snapper. The long snapper was sick. So they literally just went, hey, Bill, go out there. So then he, not knowing what to do, does the dumbest thing ever and snaps the ball. And that is why you see the train wreck of a trick play that from the moment they stepped on the field did not work.
Yeah, I like there's a little bit of I'm going to use a big word here, Schadenfreude. There's a little bit of it's a psychological term. It's where you enjoy. It's where you find enjoyment from seeing others fail. And there's a little bit part of me seeing a field full of essentially millionaires for the most part doing the one thing they're paid to do horribly.
Badly.
I like that.
Badly.
There's something in me that's like, it's like when you see it, I don't want to see it all the time, but occasionally I want to see some guy screw up the one thing he paid a bunch of money to do, because the minute you do, you get that in that video, the shot of that coach,
Mm-hmm.
you see it on his face, like he's still going to make that money. Like, it's still happening.
And the best part is the best player on the punt team is the punter, who is standing 15 yards in the back just going, I'm going to watch this shit happen. Like, he did it himself. Right. He did the whatever word you use, because good Lord. He did it himself on the field and just went, nope, not my problem. And not my problem. Right. It's not even like he runs up to try to hit anybody. No, he just goes, nope, that's what I'm getting my paycheck one way or another. That's why pro football teams have so many different coaches. It's all compartmentalized. It's so compartmentalized. It's like if right then, like the defensive coordinator is like, not my problem. Like, so we're gonna move on here to the next one is a punt by the Detroit Lions.
Oh boy,
that is one of the worst punts in the history.
Yeah, it started with Detroit Lions, and it's always going to go downhill from there.
Yes, you got to watch this.
Okay.
Sam Martin, the punt. Can he pin him back? Now, see this orange right over here? That's the line of scrimmage. Okay. This ball, notice it's still in the screen. It's because this ball went 4 yards. Yes. It is
worth it.
Yes, it punted. Watch it. He looks up. That's the best part. Is he looks up like it is going somewhere, and it went directly to his right.
Like a blind chimpanzee could have kicked better than that.
Yes.
I'm not a professional punter. I can't kick for crap. I could have done better than 4 yards.
Yes.
Easily.
4 yards.
Anyone could. Anyone can do better than that.
I tried to find one, but I was not. Apparently, NFL does not have it on YouTube or anything like that. But there is actually that's not even the record for the shortest punt. The shortest punt is -1 yards.
Well, that guy was just taken out back and shot. That's how that works. They don't want.
I'm pretty sure he quit.
He played in Europe for a while. Like, we're gonna get rid of you.
Right. Next, we're gonna go to one that I know both of us enjoyed at the time, and I will always enjoy, because it is the one team that we, as you can tell from my shirt, Dan is a graduate of.
We both went to Ohio State. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. We both went. One graduated.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you know,
true.
But you went to Columbus. I didn't even go to Columbus.
We love to laugh at Michigan and Michigan's failures.
It's easy.
This play was the most hilarious play ever, because it was wonderfully set up by Michigan. Had the game won. All they had to do was punt the ball away, and that's it. They literally found a way to lose in the world's worst fashion.
Well, they tend to do that.
Yes. This gets returned for a touchdown, and they lose with no time left.
Oh, yes, look at that
this kid. I love that kid to death.
But that kid's life flashed before his eyes.
Oh, dude, he's been a meme for like Michigan games ever since.
He should be. Oh, that was like questioning every decision he ever made, including going to Michigan. Like, we're all in that one shot.
Well, one of the best things about that is, and the audio for the best version of this that I could find doesn't have the comment right before, to where the commentator says, barring a disaster, all he has to do is get this punt off and Michigan wins. And you're like, you put that evil on him.
That's
literally the very line that is said before that film starts is all he has to do. And barring a disaster, and that's literally what happened, was the worst disaster. Not only did, the kick get blocked, the punter could have fell. And they still would have won. They could have ended on the world's worst play ever and still won the game. But it got worse.
Yeah, that's a game. That's the kind of thing. It's like a game that you just don't even need to play it. They could have they could have literally done almost nothing and been fine. The one thing they could have done.
At that point, you just run and get tackled or try to throw it down the field and get a penalty or some kind of anything but what they did.
I think the football team from The Dark Knight Rises had a better day than that one right there.
Yes, the field actually
their arena exploded, and it was like, that's still better than Michigan. Like, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
A little hyperbole, but not by much.
But then again, they also returned the kick back for a touchdown, not getting it returned on them.
Yeah.
While it was exploding. But before we get to our number one, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to actually have another special guest on here to talk about our number one, because it's really one of the greatest plays that he's had as a fan. So I kind of have to bring him on so that he can enjoy this. So coming up here in a few minutes, we're actually going to have my brother, the Eagles fan, to talk about one of the greatest moments in Eagles history. We'll be right back.
Coming soon to ZTOTV Podcasts, an all-new episode of the Exploder Wrestling Podcast.
Pete Rose.
Oh, hell yes, go Red. He deserves to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Not a Hall of Famer for, reasons.
Bullshit.
But he's appeared multiple times only to get beaten up by Kane, which is, to me, the greatest gimmick for one guy to do. Just every year, just get the crap knocked out of him by Kane.
Put that man in the Hall of Fame.
There's one. He chokeslammed him twice and tombstoned him once. And once he was dressed as the chicken. Yes. So that to me was even funnier. He is WWF Hall of Famer. They have a celebrity wing where they brought in Pete Rose because you take that many bumps for Kane and you get in automatically. I mean, Drew Carey didn't even take one and he's in.
Also coming to ZTOTV Podcasts, a very special time for Tacos crossover with the Takeover podcast. Things get really bizarre on this one.
And then the bones, I asked how many bones in the human body? I didn't even know the fucking answer, but I just knew you got it wrong.
I left that in too. I was like, whatever. It's around 200.
You know what? Brittany had said before we started that she's like, I know how many bones are in the human body. So if you would have given her that question, she'd at least gotten one right.
It was the funniest thing was when you asked Mike that question, he said 1,000 or something. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of fucking bones. What if you had so many? You'd be clanking around.
I got bones coming out my back, out of my fists.
All right, thanks for the extra few minutes. And like I promised, as you can see on the TV, my brother, the Eagles fan, is on here. Dan knows him as well. We both know. And we are here, Sam, talking about punters' fails. And we had to bring one of your favorite moments as a fan. As you can see from the wonderful smile on his face, he knows exactly what we're talking about.
He knows. And
it has now become known as the Miracle in the Meadowlands.
Mm.
First, real quick, before we show this, we want to set up just how wonderful this 31-31 with 14 seconds left. But how we got there, because I believe, Sam, it was at, 5 minutes left in the game that the Eagles were down 21 points, I believe.
Yep.
And scored 3 or 4 touchdowns to get us here.
I think they were down 3 or 4 touchdowns at the end of the third, and they scored a couple pretty quick, and then of course they ended up tying it right towards the end of the game. Giants get the ball back, and then this.
So we're at 14 seconds left. Literally, all the Giants have to do is kick it, maybe even kick it out of bounds if it's got wonderful air, or kick it to, anybody. Except at the time, Deshaun Jackson, I believe was he a rookie that year?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
And he had already returned a few kicks back for touchdowns.
Yeah, he had already had a couple.
So pretty much what is happening is before this, the commentators and everyone else have pretty much said the only thing that the Giants don't want to do is kick it to Deshaun Jackson, right?
Yep.
Well, let's see how this goes. And he punts to Deshaun Jackson, who fumbles, and then good night. This is the best part right here.
Yep. As he walks the
just turned.
sideline.
Oh, that's just
Because he wants to make sure that there is 0 seconds on the clock because he's smart. And then coming up here, this is the moment I love right here.
Look at this. He's
They're celebrating.
Yeah, he's about to go to his room without dinner. That's what that is.
Yes.
You remember? Here's what that reminds me of. Here's the one thing that reminds me of. Knowing nothing of football, it reminds me of this. You remember Tecmo Bowl?
Yes.
Tecmo Bowl for the NES, Bo Jackson. That was broken. The game was broken, and you could do whatever you wanted as long as you had Bo Jackson.
Yep. You'd run back 60 yards.
Yeah,
all the
you could do
defense would
whatever
start
you
chasing you, and then you just weave
Catch
your way
ya.
through.
Like that was the real life version of that. That's what that was.
This is one that, Sam, I had to bring up because it's honestly one of the funniest moments I think we've ever had playing video games. And it was when we lived together and we were playing, I think, on the Wii. And it was the one year that the Rams had Dante Hall. And it was the exact same thing. It was a punt or a kickoff. And I run into the bundle of players. And then somehow my guy breaks off, runs it back for a touchdown. And Sam's only response is, who at this point has literally always beaten me. This is the one and only time I have ever beaten him in Madden football. And his response is, "You don't even deserve this."
Oh, taking it away from him.
Dude, it was so great, but that's a video game. This is literally a video game if you put it on easy to watch Deshaun Jackson. He fumbles the ball at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then turns around and then
turns it around.
I think that's what throws everything off is that initial fumble. He drops that ball, and then he takes that step back, and then
everybody's already past him. Because, and then it said there's nobody to touch him. Yeah. But the best part, though, is watching Tom Coughlin literally just chewing this kid. Like, I told you one thing not to do, and it's exactly what you did.
Yeah, I remember reading after that game that
he's like he's an FCC fine on that one.
Yeah, I remember reading after the game that was literally the only thing Coughlin said not to do was kick it to Deshaun.
Well, what's funny is if you look at it, you can hear him, you can see him mouth, "I effing told you not to do that." Like, you see his mouth go, "I effing told you not to do that."
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's where Hodge just kind of puts it like, "I don't want to hear it." And he just literally like a parent that's like, "I don't even want to talk to you right now. Go to your room."
Yeah, you're grounded. That's how that one works.
I love that moment because it's just the kid looks so awkward of like that. I tried to. It happens.
Yeah. That was one of those games where you turned it off in the third. Your team's getting blown out. You don't even want to watch it. and that comeback happens, and then that at the end, especially against a division rival. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Well, and that was one of the, I believe, if I remember right, one of the first games in the new Meadowlands, wasn't it?
Yeah, it may have been. I think it was.
Yeah, it was one of, if not the first game in the Meadow. And it's like, that's a horrible way to bring in your new stadium.
Yep.
Well, as I say, that is our show for this week. I want to thank my brother, Sam, for coming on. We've never actually, sports-wise, ever really gotten to share a moment there because of our ages. So kind of had to bring you on, especially when Deshaun Jackson, because I know that's one of your favorite moments. I'm like, we gotta bring him on to talk about it, because that's honestly one of the best sports moments I can remember, because it's just so great, especially Tom Coughlin. Just, what? I told you not to do.
Yeah, it is one of the better Eagles moments too. So,
especially against the Giants.
Yeah, yep.
But, all right, well, that is our show. You can catch me here, Something About Sports, and then later in the week, you can actually catch me on Exploder with Dan talking about athletes and wrestling. So that's our show. You guys have a great night. And once again, Sam, thanks for coming out. Talk to you later.
Thanks. Fly Eagles fly.